Twitter has put up a rule violation notice on President Trump's most recent tweets about protests in Minneapolis, saying his comments glorified violence and were against the rules. Now, the social media giant obscured the offending message on his profile with a warning. The social media giant has already earned the president's ire by posting the fact-checking notices next to some of his tweets. Now, in response, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at limiting the protections of social media companies. Well, Bloomberg opinion columnist Alex Webb now joins us. So, Alex, definitely an escalating row between the president and Twitter. You know, can the president actually stop them or hurt them because of this?
I mean, it seems not. It's quite hard for it to force them to do anything. The one thing that really is at stake here is Article 230, which is a provision which dating from the mid-90s, which holds that, you know, online platforms are just that, they're platforms and not publications, and not necessarily liable for the content that's posted upon them. But on the whole, the way that people have been thinking about Article 230 is the inverse, that they should take stuff down if it's damaging, not that they would it would affect their ability to you know, in this instance, where actually this is what they're doing, they are kind of proactively managing the content on their platform, which you would think would preempt any effort to change the terms of Article 230.
Yeah, so you know, the executive order, as you say, this is about the 230 section of the Communication Decency Act. Like, what happens next if it doesn't have? I mean, there's a significance in this, but you know, what's the next step?
I mean, essentially, it's calling for lawmakers, for Congress to come up with new legislation that tackles this. Now, if it does tackle Article 230 somehow, that is really significant for Twitter and Facebook because, you know, their whole business model is predicated upon the fact they don't have to check every single piece of content. You know, Facebook employs 30,000 people, content moderators. Frankly, it's a pitifully small number given how much content is on Facebook. Twitter has no such team. You know, we tend to think of, it's easy to think of Twitter as being a tech giant, but in reality, it's not. It's got, you know, its revenue is about the same amount as BT's profit. It's a far smaller company, and it has net income of about 180 million. So if it were to employ, you know, let's assume they have to employ 200,000 fact checkers, well, that's probably got a cost of $6 billion. That's not something Twitter can afford to do. It's something Facebook can afford to do, but would be, you know, probably knock off 10 percentage points of EBITDA. So, you know, these are things which these companies are trying to avoid. And so by getting ahead of the curve and proactively managing these things, they're trying to stop what Trump is now threatening to do.